Jargon. Jargon. Yes, jargon. It's the words we use that make those that understand them feel like they belong, and those that don't, well, like they don't. But we're here to change that. This is the first in a series of episodes where we'll be covering 5 terms in each episode that will help you on your journey to understand the game better. Choop, choop, and choop. Ha, the offload. As you can tell from the footage, an offload is a type of pass. All offloads are passes, but not all passes are offloads. What makes an offload rather than just a standard pass is the fact that the ball carrier commences passing the ball after a tackler has started to tackle them. What makes this powerful is that the ball carrier can commit 1, 2, or sometimes even 3 defenders to their body before they release the ball to a teammate. That teammate often then finds himself with acres of space to exploit. So as you may have thought, a box kick is not actually the act of kicking a box. It is when a ball is kicked from the base of the ruck rather than first passed to another player, usually your number 10, to be kicked. This means that it more often than not is done by your number 9. A box kick is one of those kicks which are used in attacking situations as well as defensive situations. The reason I say a box kick can be used in both defensive and offensive situations is because a box kick is usually used as a way to turn a situation where your team is generally under pressure into a situation where your team is on the front foot. So this can be a situation where your team is deep in their own territory, close to their own try line, and they need to clear the ball. And the safest way to do that is from the base of the ruck before the opposition has time to charge the ball down. Another way to look at it is when your team has the ball and they are trying to penetrate the opposing team's defense. When you're up against a really strong defense, it can be really hard to get onto the front foot. And then often when that happens, you will see teams will use the box kick just to change things up, to put the other team under a different sort of pressure. Because just continuously running into a brick wall constantly is not smart play. And to give a box kick the highest chance of success, it needs to be done so that the opposition team receives the ball under enormous pressure. Or even better, you retrieve the ball instead of them catching it. This is done by signaling to your team that a box kick is about to happen and that you need someone to chase the ball down. Usually this is done by the quicker players in the team, your wingers or some of the other outside backs. So your number 9 will kick the ball as high as possible with pinpoint accuracy, usually targeting some space or kicked in such a way the opposing player receiving the ball is stationary and under pressure. In rugby union, a blood bin, also known as a blood substitution, is when a player is substituted due to bleeding. When a player is bleeding from a wound, they have to leave the field to have the wound attended to. During this time, they are allowed to be substituted, and then once the wound has been attended to and the bleeding has stopped, they may return to the field. It's important to note that the substitution is only limited to 15 minutes. For the player to return to the field, the wound needs to be covered and the bleeding needs to have completely stopped. If the wound continues bleeding and the 15 minutes have passed, then the player may no longer return back to the field and the substitution becomes permanent. Breakdown. Think of a breakdown as when a player is tackled and players from both teams form a contest over the ball. If this sounds like a ruck to you, then you're right. A breakdown is essentially the process of the ruck forming. The breakdown / ruck is a very important aspect of the game because this is where teams can both win and gain momentum, and this is also where a lot of turnovers happen. During a breakdown, the attacking team tries to retain possession by securing the ball on their side of the ruck or breakdown. The defending team will be trying to steal the ball or force the attacking team to commit an infringement or a penalty. The laws of the game dictate how players can contest for the ball at the breakdown. Any infringements will result in free kicks and penalties. The laws surrounding the breakdown really deserve a whole video of its own, so please look out for that in the descriptions, because I will be creating one in the future. A dummy runner is when a player runs a running line near the ball carrier in order to create the perception that they will be receiving the ball. This is to create confusion in the defending team and to force players to either commit to a player that's not going to be receiving the ball or to put them in two minds in their defensive positioning. In reality, what normally happens is your key ball distributors, mainly your 9s, your 10s, sometimes your 12, would be deciding at the last minute which player will be receiving the ball. They would do this by instinctively summing up the defensive line and seeing where the open space is and which player is in the better position. So having multiple runners running lines around the ball carrier really does help create confusion and gives the ball distributor some options. That's it from us, guys. If there are any other terms which you guys think would be good for me to include in future videos, please put them in the comments below. Whether you're a novice that heard some terms and you would like them better explained, or if you're an experienced rugger and you think some terms are good to explain to people who are new, I welcome those too. Furthermore, please hit the like and subscribe button so that I can keep doing this for you guys. And yes, thank you. Bye.